Hey there, guys. I hope that all of you are having a fantastic Sunday evening. I am doing a cool down in my little magazine journal, but I am not using magazine pages this evening. I am using scraps that I had left from the day of making junk journal inserts, my little loose leaf Lucy things, as I like to call them. So I thought I would just sit here, and I saw a super cool live stream today with Miss Leanne over at Creatively Free to Be Me, and it reminded me that I needed to document my one word for 2019, and I had not done that yet. So I thought I would sit here right quick and just do a quick journal page. I've already turned my little heater off, so it's going to get really cold really fast. So it's going to be a fast page. The first thing that I want to do is kind of take advantage of a bit of Mod Podge that I had left over today. So I'm gonna, and I also had some of my 1891, I think this is 1891, Edison's Incredible Encyclopedia. And it's really one of my favorite things to work with. I am crazy about it and have been using it a lot in my loose leaf Lucy's, my mixed media loose leaf pages for junk journals or art journals or whatever you like to use them for. They have been a lot of fun because I've been doing a lot of sewing in them, and I'm just kind of rediscovering sewing because my mom sewed, my grandma sewed, both my grandmas sewed. So I kind of have the chip. I just haven't activated it in a really long time. So we're just going to put these down, these little pieces of Edison's encyclopedia, and the encyclopedia is so chippy. It is, hold on, take in just a little bit. It's just falling apart, and the only way to salvage it and save it is to do something like this with it, you know, just kind of use it almost as a tissue paper, because honestly, that's kind of what it is. It is so thin. Also, I'm using text from 10 Little Indians by Agatha Christie. I'm not sure, I think that she wrote that, not sure when she wrote it, but Inspector Poirot is one of my very favorite fictional characters. He is not in 10 Little Indians, but it's just such a wonderful story. And this, again, you know, this was just a really chippy book that needed to be salvaged. And I think it's a lot of fun to salvage those little chippy kind of things. They are really almost like working with tissue paper. And I've got one more little bit to use right here. I also had left over some pattern paper, and I thought I would kind of use that as well. So we're really just kind of covering these pages. And like I said, usually in this journal I use magazine pages, but this time we're going to use some book pages. I think I'll try and put this one here. I also had a bit of a napkin left over as well today. So basically I am making supper with my leftovers. I'm making art supper with leftovers. Okay, I am going to dry this, and I'm going to dry it in real time. because sometimes when I press the pause key on my phone, it does not work. So we will do it this way. Alright, I'm gonna grab some, oh, okay, gosh, somebody prepared really well for me because I was gonna go grab some water. I prepared well for myself this evening, which is crazy because I am not, I've been up a really long time and I worked all day, so you wouldn't expect me to be so Johnny on the spot. Okay, we've got our collage background down. The next thing that I want to do is I want to add some, these are Neocolor 2 markers, and my friend gave me these. And I was hoping to find some blue. I don't see any blue in there. And I cannot find, I have a lot of these and cannot find them. I mean, it's very weird that I can't find something because usually I totally can. So I tell you what, let's do. Let's just, let's do, and I wanted to do some bright-ish colors. Let's just do these. And I know that that's going to accidentally probably make orange, but, you know, all I want to do here is just do some dripping. And I'm going to just kind of color in the tops of the pages right here. And I think the drips will look super neato. Just kind of running into the collage background here. I think that'll look cool, but, you know, we'll see. And I love, like, the dripping technique. I think it's neat. The only bad thing, I guess, not bad thing, but the only little hitch in the giddy up with that is that you have to kind of dry it. But we'll do something very light here. Okay, I'm gonna take my big fat daddy brush. I'm gonna press it into the Neocolor 2 up here and tilt my page and see if we can get some nice dripping going on. Can you see that okay? Works. There we go. Sorry. Okay, so we are, like, we're not getting super great drips, but I also don't want to make this page so wet that I cannot finish this project, like, in just a few minutes. So I'll just kind of bring some color down. And like I said, I don't want orange, but I'm getting kind of a pale-ish orange, which is okay. That's all right. I don't mind that. Okay, we're gonna draw again. Okay, the next thing that I want to do, and this is not fully dry, but I had a piece of watercolor paper that I was doing the smoosh technique on. Now, the smoosh technique is when you take like a piece of plastic and you drop watercolor on it and you smoosh it onto your page. And I learned that from Leanne as well. So I had one of these scrap pieces of paper, and I've already traced out my word. My word of the year is one. I conducted business during the era of multitasking. Doing as much as you can, as fast as you can, usually 2 or 3 or preferably 10 things at a time. I still do that, especially when I am cooking. I do not like cooking, but we do not eat out. We eat out maybe 3 times a year, 4 times a year. We just don't eat out. So that requires a lot of time in the kitchen. So I do multitask a whole lot in the kitchen. But my focus this year for especially my personal spiritual practice this year is to focus on one thing at a time. One thing means to be mindful. It means to focus. It means to approach tasks and not be so scattered about them. I'll give you a good example. The other day, I got all of my Etsy orders ready to go to the post office. And I'd had a really busy morning. I got all of my Etsy orders ready to roll, and hopped in the car, went by the market. I had several stops to make before I got to the post office. Got to the post office, y'all, and I did not have my Etsy orders. I had neglected to take them off the table. I had a big bag, take the bag off the table and take it to the car, and got very frustrated. And things like that have happened more often than they should. And it got me thinking. I've also been listening to a lot of Eckhart Tolle, and I'll put a link to Eckhart Tolle down in the description box below so you guys can kind of check him out. I also listen to a ton of Abraham. Now, Abraham is another spiritual teacher. And I realized that last year, my year went by so fast that it was like it never happened. And that, Mama says that's the way things happen when you get older, that time seems to just go super fast. And if time is going to go by super fast, then I want to be sure that the things that I am doing, I actually remember doing. I want my day-to-day life to be focused, and I don't want to do 10 things at a time. I want to do one thing at a time and do it with meaning, and do it with intention, and do it with awareness. So this is my word. This is the word that means a lot to me right now, is the word one. I really gravitate to it. One thing at a time. No humongous concepts. This is even applying to my health routine. One set of push-ups, one set of arm rolls, one set of squats. You know, everything does not have to be a 40-minute fitness routine. Just one one. Concepts, you know, just one concept. One, I cannot, my mind goes 50 miles an hour all the time. And that you aren't able to find your center when your head is going so fast all the time. So I want to develop the practice of seeking those gaps, you know, between thoughts. And the best way to do that is to develop like a mindfulness practice, right? So that's, you know, that's kind of the intention behind my word of the year and behind, you know, this little journal page that we're doing here. I don't know where I want to place this. I like it here. I also, when I was cutting some things lately, I saw what was happening was I was cutting, and then I realized that I was cutting these little triangles, and so all these pieces were like, oh, well, that's cool. And then all the pieces were like arrows. So I put them in my journal, and I thought, well, that's kind of cool. So I can kind of use some arrows on this page, and I think that's what I'm going to do because I really love them. And as a matter of fact, I think that's what we'll do. I'll just put an arrow here, the word one. I need to grab some glue. So what's your word of the year? You know, what are you gravitating to? This was it for me. You know, when I was thinking about this, that was just it, man. I was like, yeah, that's it. That is my word. I think because it encompasses so many, it encompasses a whole lot of other concepts and other words, like intention, mindfulness, focus, being, be here now, a lot of my favorite things. So we'll put this here. And don't you think that's cool? And look how many I have to play with. So I have a lot. I forgot what I was doing. I was making pockets for flow journals. That's what I was doing. Making pockets for, I think I was making them for our heavy metal journals. That's what we were doing. So I'm just going to tear this and glue it down. I really do love this upside down Eileen's, but I tell you guys, it is the hardest thing to get out. Jeez, it's hard to get out of there. Okay, so I'm going to put this right here. My page is still wet. Oh, shoot. I wanted to do it the other way. I'm going to do it like this. And then we'll put that pointer right there. So there we go. The word one is my word of the year. And I hope you guys enjoyed this. Just a little, very quick little journal page. I am curious about what your word of the year is. So feel free to chime in below in the comments section. Thank you guys. See you soon.